And we're rolling. Welcome to the Grease Stain Cinema, where we like our popcorn greasy and we like our movies sleazy. I'm your greasy host, Clint, and I'm joined here with a very special guest for a very special occasion. We have producer, director, writer, editor, cinematographer, Matt Anderson. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. It's good seeing you at Creature Feature this weekend.
Yeah, that was really cool. That just happened. And I always get excited for that. I like to go every year. Like I tell everybody, it's about 20 minutes away from where I live, so it's super convenient. Like I don't have to get a hotel, nothing like that. I can just get a weekend pass. I can hop in there, maybe see a couple of celebrities, spend a ton of time in the vendor room because that's what I really love. And then over to the movie theater, which is like walking distance away. Um, I always enjoy the film festival. There's always local movies that go in there. Um, I felt it was a little light this year. Last year was such a big year that this year felt small in comparison.
The whole con or the theater
Just the theater experience. The regular con felt fine, but I mean, I was like, yeah, there was so much last year as far as like films that were playing in the theater that I felt like there was just a little less going on this time around. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go this year because the stuff I would have liked to see. Not that I wouldn't have liked seeing everything.
Hmm.
Was way late at night, and my son was home, and I wanted to spend some time with him. So I didn't get to see like Whistle to the Maples and um, the I wanted to support Justin Adams because he had some film showing there.
Yeah.
Uh, and then what was the other one? Was the only one showing? No.
The Slasher Nurse was playing. I don't know if you're
Slasher
thinking
Nurse,
about
that's
that.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean last year was great. I was there. We did a Q&A thing, or was it the year before? Maybe it was the year before. I don't remember.
I think it
Uh,
was last year. Yeah. The
yeah, for Resident.
George A. Romero Resident Evil. Yeah.
Right, right. We did the Q&A. We did a Q&A panel for that. And then I hung around because the cast of Velocipaster was doing a running commentary as the movie was playing. And that was an absolute stitch, and met the three people that were there, and they were really cool. We had the table right next to them, so we kind of talked a little bit and stuff like that. So, I wish I could have gone this year. I wish I could have stayed a little bit longer, but I was on a pretty tight window. So, I'm sure sometimes it just ebbs and flows, and with all the stuff going on, there's a lot. There was a lot of filming going on this last weekend too.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
that probably took a lot of the traffic because they all had early call times or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I did manage to stick around for Whistle to the Maples. That was, I think, Brandon Salisbury,
Right.
who was the documentarian for your George Romero Resident Evil documentary, was a producer on that.
Yes, yes. And Tom Robinall, who was the cinematographer on George A. Romero's Resident Evil, was also I think he was the writer, director, and cinematographer.
Wow.
So his work is absolutely just beautiful.
Yeah.
I love watching his work. His visual aesthetic is just absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that one I really, if I'd been able to stick around longer, I would have definitely wanted to see that. I've seen little bits and pieces that Brandon has shown me, and everything just looks fantastic. So yeah, Brandon
Yeah.
directed and created the Resident Evil documentary. I was the producer on that one. Now he's doing the
Hmm.
producing on Whistle to the Maples, and then the two of them are working on a new project together. So I'll really be curious to see how that comes out. Brandon's got a very singular vision, and So, anything that he puts out, I'm definitely going to take a look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so yeah, I did get a chance to check out Whistle to the Maples, and whenever you do finally get a chance to see it, I do not think you'll be disappointed. I may have been a little bit too tired to be sitting there watching it because it was a long weekend, but I do remember some very creepy moments in that film, and I don't know what was wrong with the main character of that movie, but I would not have stuck around nearly as long as he did.
Yeah, well, horror film logic.
Yeah,
it makes fools of us all, especially here on April Fool's Day.
that's right.
Doing this interview.
Me, yeah, 30 seconds. I'm out of there.
Yeah.
Any-
Me too. When I was writing, anytime I write a horror film, I have to come up with a good reason why they just in Hoodie, it's
yes.
just two guys in neighborhood watch. One guy won't leave because he wants to jack somebody up. And
Yes.
his buddy's sitting there going, "We need to go. All right, you've done it. You called the cops. Let's go." He's
right.
constantly trying. And then finally, when push comes to shove, he's just like, "See ya, dude. I'm out." And so when anything I wrote like these things, excuse me, the reason why that I wrote it the way that I did is because there's a reason. Basically, they get trapped on the second floor of a house, and all the things are down in the bottom. So no matter which way they go, there's no way to get out.
I got you.
Without jumping off a balcony and falling and breaking their legs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm a firm believer. I don't have a problem with horror film logic, horror film reasoning. I love how Cabin in the Woods did it. They put the gas in, make them stupid. And, enhance their libido and all that. So that's what I loved about it. So I always just think about that's what it is. But maybe it's a failing of mine, or benefit. I don't know. It depends on your point of view on this. But I have to have a reason in any of my films for a character to do something. It can be irrational. People make irrational decisions all the time. Lord knows I have. So there's got to be a reason for it, even in a horror film. Even if it's an irrational decision, at least I come up with what I hope is a plausible reason for it. But I'm with you that most of the time, most normal people would be like, okay, let's see, creepy nurse with a knife coming up from the basement. Yeah, I'm going to close the door and I'm out of here. See ya.
Yeah, I feel like I'm openly admitting to being a coward, but but
if you
under certain circumstances, it's quite all right to be a coward.
Yeah.
Just run.
Yeah, I mean, if a xenomorph from Alien is coming down off the ceiling, and you don't have a pulse rifle like
exactly
they had, you're pulling a Burke. You're hitting out. You're running and I mean, I wouldn't leave anybody stuck in there, but I'm hightailing it out of there and hoping I don't get, xenomorphed. So
yeah, exactly. Well, there's a few things that I want to talk through. I'm just kind of looking to get some updates because we talked a good bit just about a year ago, and a few things have happened since then, and I'm thinking that I just want to get some ideas on where some of your projects have gone. So last year we talked a good bit about Anna Key.
Oh yeah,
and I went to the premiere and the after party. I had a great time. And after that, I know that the film had hit some festivals.
Yep.
And I kind of lost track of it after that, and I was just curious, how many awards did it accumulate in the festival circuit?
Well, that
more than you can recall.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we won about 10 just for the film itself, and then we'd won a whole ton beforehand for the screenplay that
Mhm.
Amanda and I wrote together. But yeah, it did pretty good in the circuit.
Yeah.
You know, you always wish that you could get in every single film festival.
Of course.
That's always nice to get in every single one. We didn't,
Yeah.
unfortunately, but the ones we did get into, we did very well. Amanda got best director a few times. We got
Awesome.
best picture a couple of times. Jesse got best actor. Abigail,
Oh, wow.
Jesse L. Green got best actor. Abigail got um, best actress. Russell, I believe he won the best supporting actor.
Oh, it's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, Russell Sage Patrick, for those of you who don't.
Yeah.
And yeah, so let's see. So in a key movie, we got a couple honorable mentions, or actually, we won 6 festivals. That's not necessarily how many awards we won, because we won a
Right.
couple of them. We won multiple awards in the festival.
Mhm.
So, and then yeah, so it did well. It did pretty good, but now that's over, and we still have couple more festivals that haven't come up yet, that are still scheduled. There's 2 left. One in April, one at the end of this month, and then one in way out in September. I don't even know
Oh, wow.
why I put in for that one that far out, because by that
Yeah.
time, um, hopefully, it will have been picked up for distribution by then.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just ordered the test Blu-rays for
Okay.
Anarchy and Serious Profession to do
Mm.
final quality check before I send them out to the backers.
Okay.
So, and then Serious Profession, which has been a long time coming for, I'm
I
not.
was I was going to ask about that. We had briefly spoken about that last time, and I was like, "Whatever happened to that?" I mean, I see it's a completed movie now, um, and um, and I just didn't know where it was in the process and where you're going with it. So that's sounds like you're getting close to something.
Well, I mean, both films are done,
Hmm.
and they're both being looked at by distributors.
Hmm.
So hopefully one of them will pick it up, and we'll distribute it. If not, then take a look at the next thing, which is going to Film Hub and seeing if I can get streaming services to pick it up.
Hmm.
But I firmly believe that one of the distribution companies will pick up Anarchy or Serious Profession. And now that both of them are in quality in the final QC piece,
Hmm.
which is checking the discs to make sure that they look good, um, because there's one thing I hate is when you get a movie that you really like, and then you watch the disc and the disc looks like garbage
Right.
because they submitted it at too low a resolution, or wasn't the right format, or
Gotcha.
it was an MP4 or something. So, before I send out either film to the backers, I want to make sure that it looks as crisp and as clean as it does when I look at it through the video editor.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason why it took so long to get these films out. Is it was like with Serious Profession, I had a couple of people that were supposed to edit it, and for one reason or another, they just never could get to it. So I had to take that on. And then at that time, Anna Key was already in production. So I was trying to juggle those things. And then, then we did, once, those were finally done, then I had to wait on sound mixing and other things, that needed to be done, because you gotta, you can have the best looking movie in the world, but if it sounds like Charlie
Yeah.
Brown,
Yeah.
doesn't do anybody any good. So it's just a very long process, and
Yeah.
and when sometimes you have people that work that just aren't able to deliver the job, and so it's you have to put your money where your mouth is, so to speak, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's where I wound up having to do. So I wound up having to edit um, Serious Profession, Anarchy, finished the rough cut of Heavy Duty Man, finished the rough cut of These Things.
Wow.
So, Heavy Duty Man, I just got the notes from Tom Toohey, who's the director on that one.
Yeah.
Definitely should interview him, talk to him when you get a chance.
I
Uh,
I plan on doing that. I mean, I've seen him enough times now, and I really feel like it's time that happens.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I got his notes. These Things, we have to film some extra footage. There's just not enough things. We need more things,
Oh.
and it's not that we don't have enough things. We just need more things, scenes with things in them. So Craig Sturts, who is our special effects master, along with Brandy Lynn Dalton, who has, I guess, assistant, apprentice. I'm not exactly sure what term they would prefer, partner, pal, whatever. She's helping out with that. She's also a producer on These Things. So they're working together. So we're going to all work together, along with Jordan Hunley was the star, and get some extra footage done. And then once those two are done, by that time, Following and Quattro will be in the can, and it'll just be the process of editing.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, you're a better man than I, because I got to tell you, it's all that I can do to do my daily job and then juggle just a couple of interviews here and there. I can't imagine doing it daily and then also, trying to edit 2, 3, or whatever films, and but I guess being the centerpiece, or the thing that um, is the basis of Key 13 films, you're kind of like Harry Truman, and the buck stops here.
Pretty much. I mean, I have my day job, which
Uh-huh.
Monday through Friday, set schedule. So I'm not like a shift worker. If I was a shift worker, I would be in a lot more dire straits.
Sure.
But I go get up, I go do my job during the day, come home, spend time with my son, and then usually around 7 o'clock, he calls it a night, and he goes off, does his thing, plays video games, works on his own stories, because he's a very prolific writer, like his old man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And he writes books, where I write screenplays.
Right.
And then usually from 7 o'clock till about 11, it's movie stuff.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, so it's nice having that set schedule, and usually on weekends. the plus side is most of my weekends are free, but the downside is that most of the time I spend that editing, so I really don't get out much, which I really need to get out a lot more than what I do right now. Just I like having that control. Obviously, I'm a bit of a control freak. People will ask anybody, ask Amanda, Megan, she'll tell you that for sure. So I know that I am, but I do try to take breaks. That's why I went to Creature Feature, because I really needed to get out of the house. I've been editing pretty much nonstop for the last 3 years. And I take breaks, and I watch old episodes of Columbo, or watch a movie for the 18th time or whatever.
Right.
But it's a lot of work, but my goal, and I'm pretty sure I will achieve this, is to get every single thing, with the exception of Quattro and following, out this year. So
Nice.
Serious Profession Anarchy, pretty much there. Just waiting to see how it's going to get out there in the world.
Mm-hmm.
These things and Heavy Duty Man, get those cleaned up. Then those go out to the world. And
Mm-hmm.
then watch one following. I've now got a really good workflow because I've had all this experience editing all these other films.
Yeah.
So now I've got a much smoother workflow. I know, okay, I know I need to do this. I need to keep track of this while I'm doing this. Like music, if I'm not having a composition made, if I'm getting like, music that I can get off the internet for buy it or for free or whatever, royalty
Yeah.
free. I need to write them down each time I put them in and where I'm putting them and all that stuff. So, I've got a much smoother workflow. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that following in Quattro will not take as long to edit as all the other films that I've been working on, because I now do this. And even though I don't know if you visited my Facebook page earlier, but I did kind of talk a little bit about a possible project.
I saw a little teaser on something.
Or maybe it's an April Fool's joke. I don't know. But
Uh-huh.
until I get following in Quattro completed, I'm not going to start necessarily. Let's just say I'm not going to do as much pre-production on that.
Okay.
If it's actually a real thing, or it's just me pulling everybody's leg today, I don't know. But
Well,
if you ask me some questions about it, I could answer a few.
all right. Well, I do have that written down here. That is something I do want to bring up. Um, Before I get too far off of it, I did want to ask a little bit about these things. We talked about it when it was very early on. You were just crowdfunding at the time, and you were getting your actors assembled. You were getting ready to do some shooting. I think a trailer was out at the time, like a teaser.
Right.
And basically, it's six friends encounter a weekend horror when evil aliens arrive and cause mayhem and destruction. Um, how involved were you in like the shooting process? Did you get to see a lot of things on set?
For these things,
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was the director, so I
Oh,
got to
of
see it
course.
all.
You got to see it all. All right.
Yeah, I pretty much was involved in all. Yeah, so the video that you saw, the teaser, that was a proof of concept, which
Mhm.
we filmed right here in my house.
Right.
Um, and it worked really well. I mean, we got it done in like 8 hours, and so the cast that we have, and I'm going to list them all off because I love them all. Jordan Hunley, Christina Santiago, Kay Leahy, Tony Bazemore Jr., Justin Martin, Hunter Redford. Of course, Brandy Lynn Dalton has a part in it. Heather Harlow has a part in it. Jeff Koldowitz. I'm sorry, Jeff. I know I just butchered your name. He
That's,
has a
that's
little
pretty close.
little role in it. So I these things came to me in a dream. I was sitting in the back of a movie theater in this dream, and we're watching it on the screen, and I have my head in my hands like this, and because I can't believe that people are actually enjoying this movie. Um, and so I had to write it, of course,
Of
which
course.
I did, and um, it was really funny. And the people that I've shown the rough cut to, who aren't involved in the production, have just been laughing at it, and laughing in the good way.
Okay.
It is so silly that they find it funny. So I was totally got the reaction I wanted from it. And we filmed it in Brandy Lynn Dalton's house. That's why she's a producer on it.
Okay.
And she helped out with some of the other stuff and had a role in it. So we really worked hard on getting that all taken care of. And it was an absolute blast. Great cast. Um, just so much fun. And like I said, we still got some extra footage. We just, when we watched it, Craig and I sat down and watched it. We actually wrote down all our notes on where we can just make it even better than it already is. So it was a lot of fun, and I definitely, work with Jordan again. She's in my next two films, Following and Quattro. She's playing the lead in Following, and she's got a supporting role in Quattro, and she's producer on both of those films because she actually helped me pick out the cast because she's a graduate of JMU with a degree in acting and a minor in dramaturgy, which is the study of writing. So she is got that breadth of knowledge that I have never had before, and it's just absolutely fantastic because she can see it from the side as an actor, and she can also see it from the sides of a writer. So she knows what I'm looking for, but she also knows what an actor is going to be looking for. And so the two just merge together beautifully. And she's another one. You definitely should interview her. Very just whip smart and just an absolute pleasure to work with. I know she's going places. I would not be surprised in the next year or so that she'll probably be acting in some pretty big things.
I did want to spend a minute to talk about Heavy Duty Man. I know that was something we talked about last time, and that was another one of those fun projects that you were doing through your Cinephoto label. And you had put that in the hands of Tom Toohey to direct it. And I have no doubt that he gave you the best possible job that he could give you, because I bet that dude, and he is absolutely nothing but a straightforward guy who is super focused. So, I mean, but I get the impression that this movie met, for lack of a better phrase, a series of unfortunate events. So I'm glad to hear that you took it back and you got a rough cut done. And I was just curious, what are your thoughts for the future of this film, and how are you feeling about it now?
Well, there is. So we had a cast lined up, and then a bunch of things happened that unfortunately pretty much most of the cast was not going to be available when Tom Toohey took it on. The person who was originally supposed to direct it, he left Key 13, so it kind of looked like it was going to be a dead project. And then Tom Toohey, whether he was insane for doing it or a savior, I mean, he and I have that argument. We go back and forth. He, God bless him, took it on, and he took it all on himself. Pretty much, I was just producer on that one. I wrote the original concept, and then he wrote the entire screenplay. Gathered the crew. I mean, basically, he told me right off from the beginning, Matt, I got to do it my way, because he knows me. Like I said, I'm a bit of a control freak, so he knows me quite well. I mean, he calls himself my consigliere.
Okay.
He very much is, and he said, because he knows me, he knows my moods, he knows what I'm thinking, he knows, when I'm feeling like, when I'm feeling like that, he goes, Matt, hold on a second. So he knows me, and so he said, nope, I got to do it. Just like Amanda, when she was directing Anna Key, I have to admit, it was tough for me at first not to be the director because be the guy in charge because I've been the guy in charge. And she had to pull me aside and say, Matt, I got to do it my way. And she was absolutely right. And Tom Toohey, because he knew what had happened on Anarchy, just preempted that whole conversation and just said, Matt, I just need you to let me do it.
Yeah. Let go for a second.
Yeah. So I stepped back, and which was good because I was so busy with Anarchy. But I did get to go on set and, came to set a couple of times. And, the cast is freaking hilarious. So when I got it, I was like, oh my goodness, there's a lot that needs to be done. And so I had to go back and redo the whole thing. And, what I did come up with, and I started sending Tom little bits and pieces of it, and he really liked what I did, and I showed it to some of the other people that were involved, and they really liked what I did. So I knew I was on the right track, and so we got it. Now that Tom's given me his notes, I can I'll make the adjustments that he needs because he's still the director. It's his creative vision.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get it to where he wants it to be. And then once that's done, I know that he's going to want to do a premiere in Waynesboro since it was filmed in Waynesboro, probably at the Waynesboro Theater, which we had the Anarchy premiere at.
Yes.
And they are wonderful people, and they're very supportive of the indie film community. Lots of stuff is shown there. Lots of films from people that we both know. Yeah. So, and then after that, it's just like what we're doing with Anarchy and Serious Profession. It's finding distribution, and then if that, going maybe to Film Hub and trying to find distribution that way. And and then we just put it out there, and then that'll be the fourth. That's actually technically the last film of phase 1, which was Serious Profession, Anarchy, Resident Evil, and Heavy Duty Man. So phase 2 is these things, following Quattro, and then
the other one,
possibly the other one, and possibly one other.
Oh my!
Heavy Duty Man. I think people are going to love it. It's going to get the same reaction as these things did. People are going to laugh. They're going to really find it funny. It's got a very grindhouse vibe to it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, and it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's not supposed to be. If people take it seriously, if there's a guy on IMDb sitting there going, well, the continuity error. Okay, pal, you really need to get that stick out of your butt. Because I'm that guy. I will watch a film and I will nitpick it to death. But I know, okay, some films you're supposed to nitpick to death. Some films, just shut the hell up and just
enjoy it, would you?
Just let it go, man. All right, don't worry about the continuity error. Some of it, and you know what? I have to say, some of it was intentional. Some of it wasn't. But if you can't tell what was intentional and what isn't, hey, then we've done our job. And
that's right.
And as an editor, that's one of the big things you have to do. You have to take the spirit and the vision of what the film is supposed to be and be able to make that into a coherent project that people can enjoy. You can't take a movie like Heavy Duty Man and treat it like Anarchy. Anarchy's a drama. Heavy Duty Man is not. So you can't go at it the same way and edit it the same way. There's pacing and there's a feel to it. So I think people will love these things. They're going to love Heavy Duty Man. People really liked Anarchy, and we had our premiere for Serious Profession. People really enjoyed it. I think for especially since those are the first, and Resident Evil has done very well. It's gotten now some very good reviews. It's also done very well on the streaming platforms. So, I'm very happy that our phase one films have all been so very well received so far. And then I think Heavy Duty Man, since it's the last one, I think people are going to have a good time just having it, just the cast in it is really great. I mean, there's so many people in it. And and I really loved working with, or at least being on set with them and watching them work. And I'm just really looking forward to getting that one out there.
Yeah. Well, I like what you had to say there about the continuity errors and just ignoring them, because on a different subject altogether, like I've heard recording engineers say things like that. They're like, for God's sake, leave the mistakes in, because that gives, at least in a music sense, it gives that its own identity, something that makes it unique and fun, and that people can focus on, and they can talk about for, sometimes years to come. It's like those things sometimes should be celebrated. And I'm very happy to hear that you're planning to do a premiere at the Waynesboro Theater. I think that's a great place. I've been there several times now. It's close enough for me. I can get there in like 45 minutes.
Same for me.
Yeah. So if you do a premiere of Heavy Duty Man, I will be there simply in celebration of the fact that it's been released. And I would love to see it in that theater.
Tom wants it in the theater, so it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
I got you.
When are we going to premiere it at Waynesboro Theater? It is going to happen. Just got to get it finished, and then we got to work with Waynesboro Theater on their schedule, because they've always got stuff going on.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love the determination. So, current projects.
Yay!
You are. You still have a crowdfunder open, not for much longer, I don't think.
Probably about 34, 33 hours at this point.
Oh my goodness. By the time this comes out, that'll be over.
yeah. By the time, we'll be long done with that one. As a matter of fact, right before I came on, couple people donated, got us to 85%.
Nice.
I don't think we'll make 100, but stranger things have happened. So who knows? But it's we're probably down to about 34 hours, maybe even less at this point. Not really sure. But I appreciate everybody who's before you ask the question. I have to say thanks to everybody who did support us, and both not only just in front of the camera, or not in front of the camera, not just the people who donated, but the people who shared the links, gave words of encouragement and support. Couldn't get as far as we did without all the help of all the people out there. So, I really, really appreciate it. And would I like to make 100%? Sure. That would be a victory lap. But hey, what we got combined with the other money that we've got, we're going to make two really great films. So I thank everybody, and even if you missed the crowdfunder, even if we're not in demand, I'll still sell a perk.
Yeah.
Just reach out to me.
Of course. Well, this seems like a pretty incredible undertaking to basically announce two movies at the same time. And I was just curious. I don't know an incredible amount about them. I mean, I think I know a little bit more about Quattro than I do about Following. Because I'm seeing a lot of artwork for Quattro, and I get the idea that it's a very like mental or psychological type of film. And are you planning on filming these at the same time?
Okay, so first of all, the double feature funding campaign, I think we are the first one to ever do that.
Okay.
which I honestly thought that was like a really good gimmick. Obviously, if we're not making, stupid money, so maybe not. Certainly from a production standpoint, I have no idea what the hell I was thinking. I thought that would be a good idea because there was a lot of stuff that were being pulled together that like Andrew Steiner, who's our sound guy, has been a sound guy pretty much from the get go.
Yeah.
He's working on both films, and a couple of other people that are working on both films. So I thought, pool the resources, pool the funding, because Quattro is going to be a little easier to make. They're cheaper to make, and cheaper is a very relative term. It's basically this X number of dollars versus X number of dollars.
Okay.
So I will definitely not be doing this again. I will not be trying to manage two productions at the same time. That was crazy of me to do it. Definitely won't ever do it again. But I've done it, and I'm going to get it done, and we are going to get it done. Because it may take it took us a while to get all our other films done, but we're getting them. We're getting them done. And it just takes time, and it takes patience, and it takes determination. And so, yeah, so we did it, doing two at the same time. It was ambitious and foolish and rewarding and insane and every other adjective you can use to put together. But I'm very, very happy with both. I mean, I wrote both of them. I'm directing both of them. Yes, we are filming both of them, but not like pretty close together.
Right. Kind of back to back.
Yeah. So like following, we start filming this month in April. Then we film in May. And then we take a break in June because Black Sheep is filming, and a few people like Jordan that are involved in my films are involved in Amanda's new project.
Right.
So, and plus I'm using that time to get ahead on the editing on following, because there's going to be a lot of footage for that. And then in July, April and May we film, and then June we take the month off. Then July we come back for Quattro. We film those in 2 weekends, and then back to finishing up following the last few things in July, and then it's into the editing bay. But by that time, I'll have most of the films done. So I'm hoping that and then after that, I'm not doing any filming, maybe doing some pre-production on that idea that maybe is an April Fool's joke, maybe not. But until those two are done, I'm not going to be doing any pre-production, any filming, other than casting, if we haven't already done the casting by then, if that project's real. Fundraising, because that's going to be the key thing, and I'll talk about that when I get to it. But anyways, so you mentioned you don't know much about Following. You do know a little bit more about Quattro. So let me kind of give you the rundown on the two.
Yes, please.
So Following is actually more of the psychological, and Quattro is a little bit more it's a little more sci-fi horror.
Okay.
So Following is the story of two women, Sierra and Denise. Sierra, scholarship kid going to a prestigious college, and Denise comes from the other side of the rich side of the tracks. The two meet. They have a relationship together, very intense, very fast. And then they split up to do different things during the summer. Sierra is a photojournalist. She wants to be a photojournalist when she graduates, and Denise wants to be a fashion designer. Um, by the way, Sierra is played by Emma Justine. She is a newcomer. She's done mostly, pretty much, I think everything. I think she's been in one other film and a short film, but everything she's done is acting or acting. Duh. Uh, Theater. She's
Okay.
mostly she's a theater actress. So this is going to be, and this is her first starring role, and first lead, and then of course Jordan Hunley is playing Denise, who is just absolutely fantastic. Both of them are, and the entire cast. The read through was amazing. And anyways, so Sierra and Denise go their separate ways during the summer, and then when they come back, Denise is acting very weird, very distant. And Sierra really tries to find out what the hell happened during that summer when they were apart.
Right.
And so the act 2 and 3 is really the two of them Sierra trying to figure out what's going on. And there's going to be a lot of twists and turns. I once described it as kind of a bunny boiler. And for people who don't know what a bunny boiler is, that's a term for the movie Fatal Attraction.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of got that kind of single white female psychological vibe. So there's going to be a lot of mental mind effery, in that one. So and then Quattro, 4 people are brought in for a science experiment to connect their minds, be able to communicate through cybernetic implant or cybernetic devices. And these devices also project what is in their mind onto video screens. And and as the experiment goes, they discover one of the test subjects, is a serial killer. But they don't know which one it is, but that whoever it is starting to make the others start and putting their memories into the other test subjects. So, and then on the other side, there's the scientists all trying to figure out what the hell is going on and what they can do to fix it. So, Quattro is very much inspired by films like Devil and Circle. And if you haven't seen either of those films, I highly recommend that you do. They are both fantastic. They're also very
Same Devil.
Yeah, like Devil, all pretty much in the elevator in that control room. That's where most of the movie takes place. Same thing with Quattro. It's either in the test room or in the control room.
Nice.
And Circle, of course, was all in just one room. The whole movie all takes place in one room.
I like those. I do.
Yeah, me too. So that's where Quattro kind of came about. So Quattro is going to be more horror than psychological, and following is all psychological. It's not a horror film. It's a drama film with some. It's more of a thriller than.
Okay.
But it's not a thriller like Manhunter or Gone Girl. It's not that intense. So it's a weird kind of in between story, and but I think a lot of people like it, and it definitely if people like In a Key, they will like Following. It's got not necessarily the same vibe because they're very different films, but
Right.
they definitely could be cousins. Just one's a goth cousin and the other one's a hippie cousin.
Okay. Well, happy April Fool's Day. I did see on your page that you teased a rather interesting poster. It was something that may or may not be a April Fool's joke. But I've heard you talk about it before, so I'm inclined to think that maybe it's not. Um, the Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death.
Yes.
And I was just curious how long this idea has been floating around, and what your vision really is about this.
Well, okay. So, Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death.
I love the title.
Oh, thank you. It's one of my more clever ones.
All right.
Where to begin on that? All right. So, Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death actually has been around since Cinephoto was created when we
Okay.
did the teaser trailer for Heavy Duty Man, the proof of concept trailer. I threw in, because a lot of these grindhouse movies have like, from the people who made you, so
Yeah.
I did that. So, from Key 13 Films, maker, makers of this, and then I was like, and from Cinephoto Studios. Oh gosh, I forgot what it was, but it was also and Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death, and it was just a throwaway line, I just
Right.
an idea, just all right. I got to come up with two titles for it. What's the other? Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and I threw it out, and I'm like, that's a really catchy title. Maybe I could do something with this. Maybe I should do something with it.
It's kind of like the origins of Machete. A fake trailer came to life.
Yeah, and so I was just like, okay. So I love Satanist movies from the 70s. I love those, like Race with the Devil.
Oh.
The Devil's Reign, with good old Ernest Borgnine. Spectre, Equinox. The list goes on, but those are like my four biggies.
Okay.
So I like those, and I loved movies with bitchy sorority girls in it. And there's a movie most people don't even know about it, probably never heard it. But it's this movie called Jennifer. And yeah, I know you're like, huh, Jennifer?
It sounds familiar, but
yeah,
you're
it came
right.
out in the 70s. 70s or early 80s. I'm not exactly sure when. I'd have to look it up. But anyways, this girl Jennifer goes to an all-girls boarding school, and she's a poor girl. She's Southern. You find out that she was with this tent preacher, and she charmed the snakes, deep Southern snake charmer.
Right.
So they're really mean to her and this kind of overweight girl, and they're just awful. And so she gets their revenge. She gets a revenge by using her snake charming powers to get revenge on the damn rich bitches. I mean, that's not exactly how she sounds, but it's you can actually find. I was amazed because I was like, I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not on DVD. It's not on Blu-ray. It's not. I don't ever see it streaming anywhere. I checked every streaming service, couldn't find it. I did a search for it on the internet, and I found it at the Internet Archives. They had somebody uploaded a really good quality copy of it to the Internet Archive.
Wow.
Grabbed it, downloaded it. I've got it now. It's now on my video hard drive where I keep all my good movies and hard to find movies and stuff like that. So, anyways, I know it's a bit of a long way to get around to the point. So that movie had a big influence on that, and like Carrie, and and I like the kind of romp, the sexy sorority films, and like Gas Pump Girls and things like that. It's kind of sleazy, um, kind of films from the 70s and early 80s. So I was like, okay, how can I take my love of Satanist movies from the 70s and combine it with my love of trashy cinema from the 80s? And okay, Sexy Sorority Sisters Death. All right. Well, let's see. Initiation. Ah, okay. So we have the haves and the haves nots. And so then it just started writing itself. And it was so much fun to write this thing because it is so it's just so much fun. And then there is another film called from Japan called Eiko Azarak, and there's stuff in there that's a direct homage to Eiko Azarak, which was this really great Satanist horror film from Japan that takes place almost completely at a school. And all these kids get sacrificed to bring forth this demon. And so, again, it kind of just added that. That was that last little piece I needed to add it in for Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death. And so I wrote the script in about a week. Haven't really had to make a lot of revisions. Everybody who's read it has absolutely just loved it. It's not camp, it's going to be a little campy, but it's not like Heavy Duty Man. It's not all tongue in cheek. It's done completely serious, but it is just everybody who's read it has loved it. It's one that's really kind of that. There's another one I've got called Gunmetal Girls, which that's my Hollywood blockbuster. That's the one that if I make it big and they say, okay, what's your first film you're going to make when we give you $1 million? I'll be like, Gunmetal Girls. Got that one ready to go. But yeah, so I just kind of floated the idea out there to maybe it's an April Fool's joke, maybe it's not. Let's just say that if I do make it, it's going to require a lot of money, and it definitely would require probably the biggest crowdfunder I ever made. And if we didn't make enough, wouldn't get made. You can't for a movie like Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death, you just can't cheap out on it. And then I do have another one called Cornered that I have been working on. It's it's a drama. It's a Key 13 film. Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death, definitely a cinephoto movie. That one, that one, it will depend on quite a few things. Definitely won't be much done with it until Following and Quattro are completed, and maybe something else. I don't know.
Right.
No, you're just gonna have to have me back. Maybe in a month or two, maybe.
All right.
I might have a few more things to say
about
Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death. Maybe, I don't know.
I'm interested. What is the general idea behind Cornered?
It's Cornered. It's about a woman, played by Heather Harlow, who is in underground bare knuckle boxing. Yeah. To earn extra cash, and her daughter is her corner man, and basically is also training, not necessarily to be a boxer, but to kind of control the anger and the rage that she has at her father and her living
Yeah.
situation. And it's a drama about the two of them. Kind of, it's called Cornered because the boxing as well as they're kind of in a corner.
Love to hear it. All right. Well, I won't pry too much further about that. It sounds like we need to have a revisit on this in a little bit.
Mm,
But if you're willing to indulge me for a few more minutes,
absolutely.
I have what I like to call the lightning round.
Yes.
Just a few fun questions that I like to toss out there to people that I have on my show. Um, since you have a unique position, you're not really primarily an actor. You do all sorts of other things with filmmaking. So I just want to ask, what do you find to be the most challenging aspect of filmmaking? I know
Mm.
there's a lot of challenging things, but what do you find the most challenging?
Well, up until recently, I would have said editing.
Okay.
But now, um, I think the most challenging thing is time, really. It's finding the time. When you are a writer, director, producer, editor, and in some cases, music supervisor,
Hmm.
I'm also playing AD, so I'm doing the schedules and I'm hiring the crew and the cast and casting director and all that. It's the time. Time is probably the hardest piece out of all of that. It's finding the time. And when you're a one man shop, and it's not that my control freak nature is so strong that I won't let anybody else do it. Although there is some truth in that. I mean, I can definitely be that way,
Hmm.
especially when we've given it to other people and some of them just aren't able to rise up to the challenge.
Right.
Um, it's not that; it's just that the people that I would love to like do the stuff, I just can't afford. I can't pay them, and I don't like asking people to do stuff for free.
Right.
Unless, I mean, if they say, "Hey, I'll do it for free," okay, fine. Hey, come on board. But I'm not going to ask somebody to do it for free.
Right.
They say, "Oh, this is how much it's going to cost me to do it." Okay, I'd love to pay you, but I don't have that kind of money. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to. So I have to wind up doing it myself. So it's
Right.
the finding the time. I haven't written anything new in a while, and I've got all these really great ideas that I want to work on, but I just don't have the time to do it. So that's the biggest challenge: is time. Is finding the time to do all the things. And believe me, if I could afford to hire an editor and a sound uh, um, music supervisor and an AD or a production manager, I would,
Yeah.
because then that would give me more time to do the other things I need to do.
Right. Right. Um, so, given your experience so far, what would you consider to be one of your greatest victories?
Dang, you good on those. You got some good ones. My greatest victories. I would say that probably the greatest victory is where I'm being here right now. Not necessarily on the show, although it is a great victory to be on the show. But the fact that I'm here, that I can say Serious Profession is looking for distribution. Anna Key is looking for distribution. The rough cuts of Heavy Duty Man and these things are done. And it's probably a couple more months just getting the sound mix, finding the music, doing the rest of that stuff. Um, Getting here, being able to be this close, so much closer, and then knowing that by the end of this year, everything that I've had pending is going to be done, and then the two things that I may have pending, following and Quattro,
Mhm.
if they're not done, they'll be damn well close to being done, and so they'll come out. And then if Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death actually becomes a real thing, then and we get the money to do it, then that'll be probably my next big victory. But for right now, it's just finally getting to this point where I'm starting to get caught up, and that's a huge victory for me from when I started almost 6 years ago. Started off with 3 guys, and then it just became me and Tom Toohey, my consigliere. And I wouldn't have, and I definitely have to say, I would not have gotten here without all the support of all the people, the actors, the cast and crew on all my films. Without all of them, I wouldn't even be here right now. So, I credit where it's due. Everybody from like Amanda, Tom Toohey, Andrew Stainer. Those 3 have been, in my corner since the get-go, practically. And then all the other wonderful people that have been involved, like Adam Vaughn, who's working on Following, Brad Chang, who's working on Quattro. They've become 2 people that I know that I can rely on for camera, for my cinematographer. So, this being here is a victory. It's probably the hardest victory I've had. One of the hardest victories I've had in my life. So
excellent. Yeah, it's always nice to see a job all the way through. So you may have already mentioned it, but I'll ask it anyway. Given your experience so far and ambitions for the future, do you have a dream project?
Yes, I have several. Let's go over here to the. All right, so for right now, probably the project that I am dying to do and probably won't be able to do, at least not right now. Maybe if I get, if every single film I make makes like a crap ton of money, or it wins so many awards that Hollywood comes in, or Blumhouse or somebody comes in and says, "Hey, Matt, pitch us what you got, baby." My dream project, at least right now, the one that keeps drawing me back time after time after time, is Gunmetal. And it is, wow. So it's just this team of 4, Sierra, Juliet, Echo in India. And that's the easiest way to describe them. It's 4 female John Wicks.
Okay.
And so they work in this underground world. They are the favorite of a well-known Russian mob boss who hires them for a lot of jobs. Well, Echo actually is a part of the Gunmetal Girls at first. She's with a different criminal organization, but then they cross paths. And so that one is one of my dream projects. It's the one that I really want to do. I am really anxious to do it. But being able to do it is, I'll tell you what like I said, when we get offline, I'll tell you what the budget for Sexy Sorority Sisters of Death is. The budget for Gunmetal Girls, easily $2 million. Easy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, to hire the people that I need, the right people, the stunt coordinators, the armorers, the trainers, the stunt work, the wire work, the locations. I mean, yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
cost. It's going to cost more than any independent film at the level that I'm at right now could ever possibly make. I mean,
Hmm.
even some of the best indie filmmakers who make gobs of money on their crowdfunders. None of them have ever come close to what it would cost for Gunmetal Girls. Um, Other ideas that I have, there's Zomborg, Zombie Cyborg. It's an idea I've been playing with for a while.
Okay.
Section Double D. It's very much inspired by Japanese. The Japanese cinema is a very interesting little world, and they have this kind of this weird kind of subgenre, chicks and guns, and we
Hmm.
have that here in America, but
Oh yeah.
they almost have like an industry on this stuff.
Okay.
So there's that, and then there's other things that I've got, like The Ditch, which is a bunch of friends trapped in a ditch, very low budget, but very suspenseful. The hardest part about that is actually finding a ditch and a road that we can block off for a week of filming,
Uh-huh.
and all filming at night. Um,
Hmm.
and then I have a whole bunch of others, but really, Gunmetal Girls. That's my that's that one I really would love to do. Um, I just I just don't think that's in the cards. At least not unless I somehow manage to get an Oscar, and money just pours in from everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's a dream, and hey, I never thought I'd be doing an interview talking about my movies at any point. So that right there is, I'm already living the dream. I just
Yeah.
got to dream bigger.
Yeah. The bigger dream seems just a little bit closer.
Just, just,
Yeah.
just,
Just
yeah.
a little. Just a little. Yeah.
Get closer, get closer.
That's fantastic. Well, how would you say is the best way for people to keep up to date on what you got going on and how to follow your projects?
Well, the best place to go is www.key13film, not films, key13film.com.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Everything that we have currently, and that is either definitely in pre-production like Quattro and following, or is in post-production like Heavy Duty Man and these things, and anything that's out, including all our short films, it's all there. Plus, you can see my photography work. Like the picture of me that you have there, I took that picture of myself.
Mm-hmm.
The picture of the Quattro poster and the following, I took those photos myself. So I have my Key 13 studio, which I do photography, I do demo reels, I do VHS transfers to digital. So I have that, and then but everything I do, everything I've done is on there. And anything that comes up that is official, that is definitely going to happen, you will find it on that page. So it also has links to our Facebook, our Instagram, which I'm very bad about updating. And then, if you go there, you'll find everything you need. So www.key13film.com.
Fantastic. Well, I will probably take that and stuff it in the description of this video. I'll probably also throw your latest crowdfunder on there, whether it's live or not. That way, people can at least go and have a look at the project, and then maybe they can find it on the Facebooks and so forth. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. It's always good to catch up with you. I'm glad that we got to do this again. I hope it was a good experience, because it was definitely one for me.
Oh, I love your show, man. So I was thrilled to be back on. So we definitely shouldn't let it the same amount of time pass. So
definitely not.
Let me know, and maybe it might be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Let's see how things progress. All right. Well, I just want to say on my way out of here, you don't need a big budget to make a badass movie. And cut.